Hi guys, it's Carly with Down Memory Lane. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some really cool layouts with our SimpleStories page pieces. These page pieces are cardstock die cut pieces that you can use to really accessorize and make some really cool layouts. Today the pieces I'm going to be using come from the Happy Travels pack, which you can see right here. These are all the pieces. There are 18 different cardstock pieces within this pack, and they're so cute. There's so many different florals and text options. So cute. You can buy these packs at our store. There are 18 in each pack, and I really like this one. I think it's really cute, and it's going to be really cool today to work with. One really cool thing about the page pieces from SimpleStories is that the back of the page pieces come with this really cool way of showing us different layout options. I went ahead and used some of those to pre-cut our pages already today, so I'll go ahead and show you those when we get started. But it's really helpful. I find that having inspiration to look at as you're working is really beneficial when creating new types of layouts. So I'm really excited, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I chose this salmon pink color as my background to start today, and I went ahead and pre-cut some paper that match a lot of the die cut pieces that come from this collection. So the first paper that I cut today is this teal, light teal colored paper and this slightly darker teal colored paper. I thought that maybe layering these and making them go across the page could be a really cool way to add some depth into our pages here. I'm a big fan of adding lots of textures and depth into my pieces, and so I'm really excited to see how this is going to work. So I think that's how I'm going to do that. As always, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on pretty much everything I'm sticking to my page. We always use, for me at least, I use 3 different types of adhesive. The first being just a regular adhesive runner, which you can purchase at our store online, as well as these mounting squares, which help really pop out certain aspects of the pages. And then I also use this Nuvo glue. It's a deluxe adhesive that dries clear, and I really like it because it has this really fine tip, which is really nice for when you are using these smaller page pieces like we'll be using today. So I'm really excited. I'm just going to go ahead and add some adhesive to these pieces here, and then we'll go ahead and get those stuck down. So there we go, that we've got that all set up, and I think it's going to make a really nice way of tying these two sides of my pages together, because we are doing a 2-page layout today. When I do 2-page layouts, I really like to make the backgrounds similar so that the pages are kind of tied together. I personally like to slide my pages into a page protector in my scrapbook, and so I really like that all my pieces are sticking down, and I really like when my pages match by the background color. I think that that's super helpful. It really ties the pieces together. So what I think we're going to go ahead and do is start putting down some of my matting for my pictures that I picked out today. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I pre-cut some of these pieces with just a regular like board cutter, as well as some pieces I did have to go ahead and use scissors just to get them small enough. And I think I'm going to go ahead and lay some of the matting down. So I really like layering. I think that it's a really good idea to incorporate a lot of different colors within my, especially using when you use these page pieces. There's just a lot of different colors throughout, and they are all really similar in a similar color scheme together, so it makes putting your pages together a lot easier. For me personally, I think that incorporating as many different colors that really go together nicely in my pages is really fun and helpful for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this olive green color that I cut out and add some ways of layering behind some of my paper. So then I also picked out this pattern paper. It's polka dot pattern paper, and I think that it might go really well with some of the reds and stuff that are in these page pieces. So I'm going to try and maybe use these to maybe half matte some, or just kind of add some different textures into my work. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhesive these down as well. So before I adhesive this last one down, I think I want to see how I want to layer my mats for my pictures. I pre-cut this mat. I think it could be fun to add using my templates to add some pictures here. And then I wanted to use this one to kind of mat along with these as well and create sort of a triple mat almost behind what's going to go here as pictures. And so this one's going to go here for sure. And I'm thinking maybe if I do this, I can sort of add some more layers maybe behind like that. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Alright you guys, so now that I have this paper down and everything is really stuck down, adhesive down, it's going to stay great in my book, I think I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some of the pictures. And so for my purposes today, I used the Happy Simple Stories. For the purpose of cutting my photos today, I used the SimpleStories page templates, which allow for you to create different sized images and mats as well to go behind those. And so today I used design number 3 and design number 5 from the SimpleStories page templates. I kind of used them in a way that it was a little bit different than how I usually use them. Typically I'll take and I'll use this whole square, or maybe I will not even necessarily use the mat behind it, but I'll use this to frame my pictures so I can cut them out to be 4x4 and fit more pictures on a page if they're all maybe 4x6. So the way that I'm going to go about doing this today is when I cut these pictures, I used the 4x4, these white, this white chip, oh my gosh. The way that I'm going to go about doing this today is I used this white paper to represent my photos, and I just cut them out as I would frame a photo 4x4 to match this. And then I also took, and I have some photos that are 3x4, so I mostly just used these to really size my pictures today versus actually using for the matting. I did sort of combine by using this, combined these two, and so I have on this mat it's going to be 2 of these larger square pictures and 2 of these smaller ones, like this. So I think that they're really helpful because you can actually kind of customize them to what you want them to be, and it just makes scrapbooking a lot faster and a lot easier for me personally, and I don't usually have a ton of time to scrapbook, and so I'm really excited that we have these in stock. It makes scrapbooking just a really enjoyable experience for me, especially when I maybe am running short on time. So for these photos today, I think I'm going to go ahead and lay them out how I'm thinking based on how I cut them when I matted. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it like this today. Maybe I'll move it a little more like that here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use it like this today, and I think I'm just going to fill in some of the gaps with my page pieces after I adhesive these down. So you'll see I'm going to go ahead and use the same adhesive runner that I've been using the whole time. Alright, so I'm done adhesiving down my photos. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these page pieces and figure out how I want to lay them out on my pages. I really like these. They're really a good print on them, I think, and I really appreciate the white border around a lot of it. I really think it helps really pop out some of these pieces when they get on your page. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my title, which is Travels. So I also put this down right here. I think that this is a really good way to incorporate some good spacing between my photos and not necessarily overcrowding the whole page with even the same size photo. I think that it's a really good way to use this template. Well, you can use some of the photos, but then keeping, maybe you could customize it and maybe keep this one out so that you can put stuff like this in here. And I think maybe I'll even sort of layer these, sort of like a pack your bag sort of a thing there. I think that could be really cute. Put a little traveling bag up there next to the olive green, could be cute as well. Alright, I think that is how we are going to go about doing that today. I'm just going to go ahead and adhesive a lot of these down. I really try to, when I'm putting like these little page pieces like this, or even when I'm using stickers or anything, I really like to make sure, one, that the title has some sort of layering behind it. Intersection really draws attention to big focal points that you want people to immediately look to when you're making a layout. And so having the word travel where a lot of these papers intersect is a really good way to make that really an emphasis point when you first enter into your page. Then I like to kind of pair pieces that go together. So I really like that this is kind of like a little circle within itself here. Packing your bags, having the little bag there all packed. Same thing with the backpack and the little travel guide spot. I think that's super cute as well. And then I really like to make sure when you have pictures that are maybe more kind of grouped together, it's a good time to have some of these little note cards that come in a lot of these page pieces packs. It allows you to journal on your page a lot more. And even in some free space, I think that there's a good way to be able to do that. I didn't really include that on this page, but like if, for example, if I wanted to write more, I think including maybe cutting out another piece of paper and making it its own little spot right there could be a really good place for me to add some more journaling into the piece. But for the purpose of this, I really like how this enjoy the journey just kind of fits in this little space right there. I think it ends up being really cute. So I'm going to leave that right there. Over here, I also like to make sure that anything I have like an arrow is like facing in towards the page. I feel like it really guides your eye through the photos rather than maybe pushing your eye off the page. I think it's really cute that way. And I try, if I have a lot of flowers or something, I think like spreading them throughout the page can be really helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and adhesive this all down. You'll see me using probably a couple different types of adhesive, and I'll let you know what I'm using for each as I go through. So I am just going to start with the roller like I've been using. I really like this roller specifically because it allows you to have different sizes of adhesive as you're going through, which is really nice because a lot of times adhesive comes in just little squares, and if I have something that's maybe smaller or bigger than a square, it allows me to put the right amount of adhesive on at a time, and so I think that that's super cool. So one thing you'll also see me doing is that I like to lay out all my page pieces first before I adhesive anything down. Over time, I think I've just learned that because I really like to make sure that everything's really cohesive and that there's not a lot of white space left on my page, I like making sure I like where my pieces are before I glue them down. It makes it a lot easier to go ahead and rearrange stuff later on. So I would highly, highly recommend you do that if you're going to use page pieces or really any type of embellishment on your page. Alright, I think that is what I'm going to use the roller for right now. I'm going to go ahead and use some of these mounting squares to go ahead and pop some of my pieces off the page. So I think we're going to start with Let's Go. And you just pull the mounting square off the page. It's kind of double tabbed, and you can buy these in our store as well. I really like these for when I really want to create a higher level of depth within my layout. It can be a really fun way to really keep your page minimalistic in the sense that you're not using a ton of stuff on it, but still make it interesting to look at. So look at that, I like the little shadow behind it, it's super cool, it doesn't overlay the photos too much. I really like how that's looking. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that with these two flowers as well. And then I think for the rest of the stuff, I'm going to go ahead and use my Nuvo glue. So as you can see, I did end up doing some more popping out right here and right here, in addition to some of the other flowers I was doing. I think I ended up realizing I did a lot of popping out on this side of the page and only did one on this side of the page. So I think I am also going to pop out this camera, and then I'm going to go back in with the Nuvo glue, and I'm going to glue on Happy, I'm going to glue on this arrow, and I think that's everything that needs to be glued down after that. So I think this is how our final page is going to look, you guys. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really like how I ended up gluing down these with glue. I think that it was super helpful in making it a lot of different textures. I like popping stuff out. It turned out really cool. I really like these page pieces. I think having all these colors being really cohesive and creating a layout very simply and having so many different things I can do with them in terms of how I adhesive them on, where I put them, how I use them was super cool. I also really loved how having those page templates really ended up helping me really measure my pages out. And I think that ends up being really cool in the final process. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. If you guys want anything that I used in this video, all of the description will be different links for every single product I used in the video. So go ahead and check down there if you want anything we used in this video. Go ahead and give us a like if you really enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to comment. And please subscribe if you want more. I'll be here next time giving you another layout tutorial, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more from me. Alright guys, thanks for watching today. I'll talk to you all later. Have a great night. Bye!